come. Now it's time to build a snake game using Python. And to build a snake game and to have it run it, you need to go in command. You could open command prompt and you need to install Pygame. So you type pip install Pygame. And in my case, it's already installed. Right. After that, just import Pygame, import time, and import random. Then I'm gonna go down here and I'll type pygame.init, and this is gonna initialize all the Pygame modules. Next, I'm gonna define some colors here. I'm gonna use RGB to define the colors, and I'll go down here. I'll type this width equals to 800. This, so this is gonna be the display width and height. Height equals to also 800. I'll go down here and I'll type this equals to Pygame dot display dot set mode, and I'm gonna put in parentheses, so in parentheses this width and this height. This is gonna create the game window. Then I'll go down here. I'll type Pygame dot display dot set caption, and it's gonna say snake game by Alex. I'll go down here and I will type here, we need to set a clock to control the frame rate. So I'm gonna go down here and I'll type clock equals to Pygame dot time dot clock parentheses. And this Pygame clock object helps to manage how fast the game updates. Next, you need to define the size of each block of the snake and its speed. So I'll go down here, I'll type snake block equals to 40 and snake speed equals to 7. Then I'm gonna go down here and I'll type font style, font underscore style equals to Pygame dot font dot sys font. I'm gonna pass none for the first argument and 50. This is the font for the game over message. Now I'm gonna go down here and I'll type font, so or score underscore font equals to Pygame dot font dot sys font, put none, and 35 for the size. I will go down here and I will define a function, define your underscore score. We're gonna have a parameter score and we're gonna have a value. It's gonna be equal to score underscore font dot render, and it's gonna say your score. Let's put the big capital S, your score and I'm gonna put here colon your score plus str score. I'm gonna pass true and yellow, and this is gonna render the score text. Now I'm gonna go down here and I'll type this dot bleed value, then I'm gonna put square brackets 0, 0, and this bleed or draw will draw the score on the screen at the top left corner. Now let's create another function. Let's go down here, let's type def our snake. This is the function to draw the snake on the screen. It's gonna have a snake underscore block and the snake underscore list. Then I'll go down here, I'll type for x in snake list. So I'm gonna loop through each block of the snake body. I'm gonna type pygame dot draw dot rect. So I'm gonna draw a rectangle. I'm gonna pass this black square brackets, another pair of square brackets, 0, no, it should be x 0, comma x square brackets 1. We're gonna pass snake block and snake block again, and this will draw each block. We need to put another square bracket here. Now, okay, let's go down here. Let's define another function called message def message. It's gonna have a parameter msg, a color msg is gonna be equal to font style dot render msg. I'm gonna pass through color. This is gonna render the message text. Then I'm gonna type this dot bleed msg. Then I'm gonna put square brackets this width, so this width divided by 6, comma this height divided by 3, and this will draw the message at a specific location. Next, I'm gonna create the game loop method. So def game underscore, actually let's call it game loop. It's not gonna have any parameters, and I'll type here game over, game underscore over equals to false. This is the flag to determine if the game is over, and game close is gonna be equal to also to false, and this is the flag to manage the end of the game condition. Now let's set the initial position of the snake. So I'm gonna type x1 equals to this width divided by 2, x2 is gonna be equal to this height divided by 2. So this is gonna be the initial x position, center of the screen, and the initial y position, which is also gonna be the center of the screen. Now let's define the variables for the change in position. Initially set to 0, so no movement. So I'm gonna go down here, I'll type x1 underscore change equals 0, and y1 underscore change equals to 0. Then I'm going to create a list to keep track of the snake's body. Initially it's empty. So I'm going to type snake underscore list equals, and it's going to be an empty list for the starting. Then I'm going to type length of snake, and I'm going to set it initially to 1. Now we need to draw the food at a random position, and the position should not overlap the position of the snake. So I'm going to type here food x equals to round. I'm going to type random dot rand range. I'm going to put parentheses and I will put 0. Then I'm going to put this width minus snake block divided by 10.0 and multiplied by 10.0. Why it's underlined? Let me see. Sorry for modifier. Now let's press Ctrl D and let's put here food y, this height, so this height, and it's also going to be minus snake block divided by 10 and multiplied by 10. Now we need to define the main game loop. So I'm going to type while, so while not game over, let's put a comment, loop continuous until the game is over. And I will put here a comment again, loop, I'm gonna create another loop to handle game over state. And I'll type here while game close. So this loop while game close will loop to show the game over message and wait for player input. Next I'm gonna type here this dot fill. I'm gonna pass blue, so I'm gonna fill the screen with the blue color. Message, we're gonna have a message, let's say you lost, press C, play again, or Q to quit. And I'm gonna pass the color red. Now I'm gonna call your score, and it's gonna have length of snake -1, and this is gonna display the player's final score. Then I'm gonna go down here and I'll type pygame dot display dot update, and this will update the display to show the changes. Now I'm gonna add a comment here. I'm gonna type event handling loop for game over state, and I'll type here for event in pygame dot event dot get and I'll type here if not parentheses, if event type equals pygame dot key down. If that is the case, I'm gonna put colon, I'll press enter, and now I'm gonna check to see if so first we check to see if the key is pressed, then I'm gonna check to see if Q is pressed, then quit the game. So I'm gonna type if event dot key equals pygame dot kq, what is k underscore q. If that is pressed, I'm gonna type game over set to true, so I'm gonna end the game, and game closed, I'm gonna set it to false. Then I'm gonna go down here, and here I'll type if event dot key equals pygame dot k underscore c, so if the c is pressed, then restart the game. So I'm gonna put game loop, so I'm gonna call game loop again. Now outside of this for loop, but inside the game or inside the while not game over loop, so at this level of indentation. So let me go here, let me see, while not game over, so here. So be very careful to this. Here I'm gonna put a comment, event handling loop during gameplay, and I'll type for event in pygame dot event dot get. I'm gonna type here if event dot type equals pygame dot quit. So here we're checking to see if the player has clicked the close button. If that is the case, I'm gonna type game over equals to true, and it's gonna exit the loop. Next, I'm gonna put another if event type event.type equals let me pull this down a little bit. So event.type equals pygame dot key down, so key down, check to see if the key is pressed. Then I'm gonna type if event dot key, so event dot key equals pygame dot k underscore left. So if the left arrow is pressed, I'm gonna put colon, and I'll type here x1 change. So we're gonna move left by decreasing the x position. So x1 change equals to minus snake block. Else if event dot key equals pygame dot k right. So if the right arrow is pressed, we're gonna move right by increasing the x position. And here I should put x1 change equals to minus snake block, and y1 change is gonna be equal to 0, because we're gonna stop the vertical movement. Now, if the right arrow is pressed, I'm gonna pass x1 change equals to snake block. So snake block, and y change is gonna be equal to 0. Okay, another else if. So else if event dot key. So key, why I keep messing the code, equals to pygame dot k underscore up. So if the up arrow is pressed, I'm gonna type I1 change equals to minus snake block, and x1 change is gonna be equal to 0. Next, I'm gonna add another else if. So else if event dot key equals pygame dot key down. I'm gonna type here y change equals snake block, and x change is gonna be equal to 0. So this is gonna stop horizontal movement. Next, we need to check for collisions, but again, it should be inside this while loop. So here, I'll go down here. I'm gonna put a comment here, and I will type if x1 is greater than or equal to this width, or x1 is less than 0, or y1 is greater than or equal to this height, or I1 is less than 0. Okay, so we have a problem. It says that y1 is undefined, and this is because if I hold control and I go at the declaration of this variable, instead of calling this y1, I call it actually, let me refactor it to have it change in every error is called. So y refactor to y1. Now it will be changed in all the places where it's called. So if this is the case, I'm gonna type game close equals true. I will go down here outside of the if, and I'll type x1 plus equals x1 change y1 plus equals I2 change. This will update the X position and it will update also the Y position. Then I'll go down here and I'll type this, not def, this dot fill blue. Then I'm gonna type pygame dot draw dot rect this green square brackets food at X food at Y snake block and this will draw the food. This line of code is gonna draw the food on the screen. Okay, I'm gonna go down here and I'll type snake underscore head equals an empty list. We're gonna create a list to store the head's new position. And I'm gonna type snake underscore head dot append x1 snake underscore head dot append y1 and snake list dot append snake head. So we first append the updated X position for the snake head, so that's x1, then we append the I position for the snake head, and then we add the new head position to the snake body list. Next, we're gonna check to see if the snake's body exceeds its length. Remove the oldest segment. So I'm gonna go down here. I'm gonna put this comment and I'll type if len snake list is greater than length of snake. I'm gonna delete snake list at position 0 outside here, but at this level on the indentation we're gonna check for collision with itself. So I'm gonna type for x in snake list. I'm gonna put colon -1, so we check every segment except the head. If that is the case, I'm gonna put colon and I'll type if x equals snake head. If the head collides with any other segment, I'm gonna put game close equals to true. I will go down here at this level of indentation again and I'll type our snake block. So I call the function to draw the snake, so snake block snake list. Now I'm gonna call your score length of snake -1. I'm gonna display the current score. Then I'm gonna type down here pygame dot display dot update. So I'm gonna update the display to show the new frame. Next, we're gonna check to see if the snake has eaten the food. So I'm gonna go here. Let's put a comment. Let's put this comment here. And I will type here if, so here, if x1 equals food x and y1 equals food y. Then the snake head is the same position as the food. I'm gonna type food x. We need to change the position of the food after it's eaten, equals to round random dot rand range parenthesis 0 this width minus snake block divided by 10 and multiplied by 10. Let's put here 10.0 and here also 10.0. Okay, I have an underline, I don't know why. I'll go down here and I'll type food y equals to, I will type here round random dot rand range 0 this height minus snake block divided by 10.0 and multiplied by 10.0. And I'll go down here and I'll type length of snake plus equals 1. So we're gonna increase the length of the snake after it's eaten its food. And down here at this level of indentation, I'm gonna type clock dot tick snake speed. This controls the speed of the game. Then I will go down here at this level of indentation. I'll type pygame dot quit and down here I'll type okay, let's move this and this, and here I will type game loop to call the game. Now let's see if it's working. Okay, if I run the game, currently it's not working. So if I close this, you saw the game briefly there. And the problem is that I indented the code wrongly. So go here where it says check for boundary condition. Before that, press tab to all the code, because it's outside of the while loop, and this is why it's not working. So press to, still pressing tab for all of those. Here also. Now if I run this, now the game is working. But it's not eating all the time the food. It still needs some correction, still need to do some work. So let me close this. Alright, to make it work, just add this line of code. If x less than food x plus snake block and x plus snake block is greater than food x and y and so on, and everything will work fine. Now if I run this, now everything works fine, as you can see here. Oh, this is actually really nice. Let me overlap myself and I lost the game. Alright, I'm gonna end this video here and I'll see you in the next video.